What if I told you that there was a habit that's practiced around the world in these isolated pockets, and it's been practiced for centuries, that can add decades to your health and longevity? This is the practice of the blue zones. And I'm going to talk to you about the 5 most common habits that you can adopt to actually improve your quality of life, your health span, and your longevity. The first 2 are pretty straightforward, but the last 3 are going to really surprise you, I think. Blue zones are pockets around the world of these isolated communities where they've practiced for centuries very similar lifestyle techniques. And we now know that there is a common thread among all of these blue zones, even though these blue zones are in different climates, different locations, some on mountains, some by the sea. There are basically 5 habits that really impact longevity and health span that they practice. Number 1 is move naturally. This is essentially exercise. Now, this is an exercise the way most of us in more developed areas consider exercise. Exercise for the blue zones tends to be natural movements. They tend to walk quite a bit. They walk to the grocery store. They walk to the friend's house, or they'll ride bikes. It's not so much of use of cars, but their daily steps are extremely high just based on that lifestyle. And they're constantly gardening. They have personal gardens. There's community gardens that they all tend to. And so all day long, they're in natural movement. So how can we implement this into our daily lives? I mean, this is a practice that with these short bursts of activity throughout the day, it keeps your metabolism humming. It will keep your joints lubricated, and it'll keep your mind fresh. So how do we incorporate this into our daily activities? Well, the first thing we can do is try to get at least 7,500 steps a day. If you're not monitoring steps, you really should be, because 7,500 seems to be the magic number. If you can achieve that on a daily basis, you're doing really well. Second thing, take the stairs instead of the elevator. If you live in a place that is a high-rise, or if you work in an office that has a set of stairs, you can do that on a daily basis as well. And, getting outside for walks. I like that aspect because you're not only getting into nature, which is a huge value by itself, but you're also getting that natural movement going. Okay, now it comes to number 2, which is nutrition. And this is an absolute foundation of the blue zone people. Their diet consists mainly of what they call the plant slant diet. This is where the majority of meals are plant-based, as in vegetables and fruits. And this is something that has proven out in all of the longevity data, health span data, is that the heavy vegetable-based diets tend to promote sustained longevity. This is due to many factors, primarily the phytonutrients that you get from the vegetables, the resistant starches that you get from the vegetables that help promote healthy gut bacteria, and the low-calorie consumption. All of that combined is a wonderful trifecta for longevity. And the way they do this in the blue zones, and each blue zone does it a little differently, but mostly meats are added to meals as a garnish or a side dish rather than as the primary course. And this is something you can practice at home and kind of gradually move into it. I like for people to do like 2 dinners a week, make them all vegetable-based, vegetable and fruits. That way you're transitioning easily. So try that and try to get to the point where, meat is maybe 2 to 3 servings a week and more of a very small serving size. Now we get into the ones that are not quite as well known. The next one is environmental exposures. Of course, these are mostly isolated rural communities, these blue zones. So they don't have the poor air quality that we typically experience in more urban and suburban areas. The only exception to that is Loma Linda, California, which is probably on the better side of cities with air quality. Think about even like the water supply. Most of these blue zones are getting really fresh water with minimal contaminants. The use of pesticides in vegetables are low, and the soil is generally rich soil. It's not overgrown and depleted of nutrients that you have to replace. These zones, these blue zones, are also generally in very stable climates, not too hot, not too cold. They tend to be temperate year round. I mean, we now know that prolonged heat exposure, high heat areas tend to have a lesser life expectancy and health span than places that have temperate environments like the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica. It's just a beautiful, steady temperature with not much variation throughout the year. And you're also in a natural environment. These small communities, I mean, it's essentially a little community surrounded by green space, as opposed to a city with a little minimal amount of green space. So they're able to get that nature exposure as well. So what can you do to really maximize that aspect of things? Well, you can really look at where you spend your most time, which is your indoor environment. And there are many things you can do to optimize the indoor environment. I did a post on this a couple months ago that I'll put a link in the transcripts. And this will give you a starting point to optimize that indoor environment. But it's also about getting outside. Get outside and walk. I mean, assuming your air quality is healthy, get out in nature. I mean, just walking among the trees. Those are things that will really boost your autonomic nervous system, your heart rate variability, your stress level will drop dramatically. These are all things that you can do and promote a really healthy living environment. Number 4 is social connections. This is something that all the blue zones share in the fact that they have really strong social connections within the family, within the community. They value the company of other people. They share meals together. They have community gatherings. I know when I was visiting Costa Rica, which is a place I visit frequently, especially in the Nicoya Peninsula area, there are parties or gatherings almost every weekend. They'll have bullfights or rodeos, bull riding. It's amazing because the entire community comes out. They'll have soccer games that the whole community will come out and cheer on their team. So it's a really strong social connection type of community. And this is common with all of the blue zones and something that really should be considered an essential part of healthy aging. Now for number 5. This is one that most people have not considered, but it's a sense of purpose and meaning in life. You know, in Japan and Okinawa, they call it the ikigai. And in Costa Rica, they call it the plan de vida. But it's really a purpose or a meaning to what your life is about. And this is something that, especially as people retire, they kind of lose that sense of purpose and meaning. In these blue zones, the elders are the knowledge keepers. These are the people that everybody has respect for, everybody wants to listen to and to share in their knowledge sharing. So the elders in those communities tend to feel more valued than we see, at least here in the United States, for sure. And they're constantly getting involved with community aspects. They're working with the children of the community. They're working within their families. And this is something that most people underestimate the value of. I mean, this is like rocket fuel for longevity, is having meaning and purpose in life. And they also have this tendency to not downplay things. And what I mean by that is, you know, you can have somebody and give them a compliment and they will take it. They won't try to deflect the compliments. Oh, your hair looks beautiful. Oh, this mess, no. They're like, well, thank you. And they truly mean it. And this is something that a lot of people have difficulty with, but taking a compliment and receiving it in that way not only boosts you, but it also boosts the person that gives you the confidence. So consider that when the next time you have somebody give you a compliment. Now I'm going to give you a bonus here. There's something called downshifting, which sociologists have found is very impactful for psychoneuroimmunology within the system. And downshifting is basically slowing down, taking a break, take a nap during the day, take a walk in nature, get away from your electronics. These are common practices in the blue zones where they just have their rest throughout the day. And this is not something we're used to in today's society where everything is go, 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 and you work hard, work fast, and then you come home and relax. You're better off to take the breaks during the day, take the walk in nature, take a nap. I mean, naps are hugely valuable, but that's a good bonus to add to these 5. And so there you have it. To recap things, the 5 practices: move naturally, plant and slant diet, optimize environmental exposure, social connections, and sense of meaning and purpose, with the bonus of downshifting. These are simple practices. They're not complicated. There's ones that everybody can do that don't cost anything more, and the impact will be huge in your life, and it will be a much longer life at that.